What's up, fight fans? This is Kurtaville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. You know, a lot of people ask me, why do I never address the Nicholas Asbury or Tyson Fury when allegedly he had stuff taken out of the gloves or whatnot, and they seen stuff fall out of his gloves. Why don't you talk about that as much? Why don't you make a video on Tyson Fury and the career that he made of cheating, or the things that he did was shady? You know, why don't you make a video of that? Okay, for shits and giggles, here you go. This is that video. Nicholas Asbury was a sparring partner of Tyson Fury. He was. Past tense. He was a sparring partner of Tyson Fury. And this is when Tyson Fury came back in 2018. Now, Tyson Fury sparred this guy, I don't know how many rounds, numerous rounds, but to my understanding, after that, or after those sparring sessions, I guess Nicholas Asbury felt curious on why were these, why did it feel like these punches are so much harder? So he did his investigating. He had his camera there, video camera there, and he recorded, you know, hey, you know, there's no padding in the gloves, you know, hey, you know, does this guy know who the fuck I am? You know, those type of words like that, you know, like, which that was kind of dramatic, honestly, because, I mean, if you don't know who the fuck he is, I mean, nobody knew who you were. You know, you were just a sparring partner that ain't fought in a very long time professionally. So, you know, but I think he should have done something about it. And then when he went to Ben Davison told him, well, we do that to give more, build confidence in Tyson Fury. Well, at that point, and it was exposed. I mean, I remember reporting it. This was a while back when this came out. Okay, this was a while back when Nicholas Asbury came on the scene, and he had those gloves. He had those gloves on video, and he was checking the glove. Okay, and that's what happened. Now, obviously, this didn't really come to the forefront, and nobody really gave a shit until Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder. Okay. But one incident is totally separate from the other. That's the difference. So people ask me, why haven't I made a video about Tyson Fury in connection with his win over Deontay Wilder? They don't hold any weight. Why? Let me counterpunch. For one, he was with Ben Davison, not with Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill is his current trainer. Okay? He did that with a sparring partner. Okay? And that's when he was with Ben Davison again. And is there any connection to Ben Davison and Deontay Wilder? Yeah, because Ben Davison was in the corner of Tyson Fury. But does that mean his gloves does it look like shit was taken out of the gloves? No. In fact, they look floppy. Right? They look floppy like a fucking hacker sack. That's what they look like. They didn't look like they looked like they were bigger than normal gloves and the way they were turning and things of that way. But look how Tyson Fury was punching, right? Now, again, that's something that should have been addressed at that time. But it wasn't. But let's address it, okay? Ben Davison, if he did that to a sparring partner, that was fucked up. Like he did to Nicholas Asbury, it was fucked up. But what you guys don't understand, nobody really cared. None of those channels really reported that to its entirety. They didn't really. It wasn't as pivotal. It wasn't as crucial as it was. Okay, nowadays it seems like, okay, well, all this adds up to this particular moment of him possibly cheating. You know, so they built this case on that, right? And the gloves themselves were supposed to have been checked by the commission on both parts. Now, mind you, what are the chances of J. Diaz being in both dressing rooms at both times. See, it's one thing to fire a guy because you think he spiked his water versus another guy that did the same fucking thing twice in a row, supposedly or allegedly. And what I mean, the same things in a row, meaning he's supposed to miss Tyson Fury cheating, not just one time, but 2 times. So really what it is, the whole quest for building a case against Tyson Fury, the idiots are supposed to understand that they should be building a case about the incompetence of the head trainer, which again, nobody says anything about. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of things, it's like, okay, who was there watching them? See, for reaching propaganda agendas and all type of other storytelling, right? And story making, you would be better off making a case against Jay Diaz if you're already reaching that far to the limit of seeing a sparring partner for a couple years, a couple years ago from a fight or in training camp because that could have been the Shafiri fight. That could have been the Pianetta fight. We don't even necessarily know that was for Wilder fight, but even if he did take it out when he was preparing for Wilder, that doesn't mean that he was cheating at Wilder's corner in that fight. Doesn't prove that. But you could easily say, if any of those guys actually came out and started thinking for themselves, if they started thinking for themselves instead of listening to this guy, oh, okay, yeah, that's right, that sounds right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And being convinced on what that guy is trying to get them to believe, and they believe it, versus really thinking for themselves and by themselves, and thinking like, you know what, we looking at this shit all wrong. Mark Breland ain't even the guy they're supposed to be looking at, is Jay Diaz. And even with spiked water, if you want to go down that route, who had the water in his hand? Jay Diaz. He was aiding with the bottled water. He had a bottle of water in his hand, giving it to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder lied and said Mark Breland was the only one that dealt with his water, meaning dealt with it. That means fucked with it, had it, held it. That's what that means. Okay? That's all that means. So don't tell me that, oh, Mark Breland was that guy. See, again, that's a narrative that people want people to be fixated and believe. But what I'm convinced of is that a fighter goes to a limit to go, they feed certain stuff to certain channels, and those channels' job is to feed certain narratives. You can't talk about this. You got to talk about that. Don't talk about JD's, but talk about Mark Breland. We ain't going to talk about JD, even though I talked to him, I was very upset with him. We had words. Dude, he's supposed to do the same thing twice if Tyson Fury is supposed to cheated you twice. Right? And he was there both times, looking, skinning, and grinning the same way. Jay Diaz's, great sense of humor. Right? Another walk in the park, So you don't bother to fire him. See, here's the thing. If you're going to why would you throw one guy under the bus that you can't prove that he did anything wrong versus a guy that was incompetent, supposedly, twice? And you don't do anything about that. You don't throw him under the bus. You just said we had words, but the other guy, oh God, no. And that just tells you, the relationship with Jay Diaz versus Mark Breland, he was closer to Jay Diaz than he was with Mark Breland. He might have been trying to fire Mark Breland the whole time. That might have been something that he used as an excuse to do because he didn't like Mark Breland making him do shit in training camp that Jay Diaz never made him do. But that just goes to show you that yes man mentality, or surrounding people around you that deceive you. And that's all that is. It's self-deceivement. So, but back to Tyson Fury, did he do anything shady? Did he cheat and stuff like that? They might have did some tricky shit. I believe they did. The Nicholas Asbury guy, not saying he was a liar. You know what I mean? I just think that the guy is using his testimony to bring attention to himself, the clout chase for himself. I don't think that guy is really, because he hasn't fought in a long time. That's no different than a Joey DeWaco situation. A Joey DeWaco, he didn't purposely say anything to clear the rumors about hitting Anthony Joshua or knocking him out. What he did was he let that shit ride. In Nicholas Asbury case, he's coming forth and saying things because he knows, hey, I'm on TV now. I'm on this this channel that has thousands of subscribers, so I'm getting seen, right? So somebody might do that. The buzz is surrounding me because I'm a whistleblower, so I'm an important factor at this point. So, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But anyway, I think that in hindsight, blaming Sugar Hill for Ben Davison's allowance is wrong. You know what I mean? Because like I told you guys about trainer versus fighter, if a fighter decides to do something dishonest or foul or shady or sketchy, okay, that means both of these guys, both of them are in on it. And in this case about Javon Sugar Hill, the glove allegations, in my opinion, my counterpunch, don't hold weight because Javon Hill did what he's supposed to do. And Deontay Wilder's head trainer was there to make sure that he did what he's supposed to do. Counterpunch. So anyway, I hope this video was informative for the guys that are the people that wanted me to do a video of this magnitude. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.